Red Matter 2 is hands down the most visually stunning VR title on the Quest 2. But beyond the impressive graphics, does it have the story and gameplay to make it worth your time and, more importantly, your money? Hopefully this video will help you decide. Across your journey through outer space, you'll be solving quite a few puzzles, from finding and retrieving items to hacking terminals and operating various machinery. To help you solve these increasingly challenging puzzles, you're given a high-tech spacesuit equipped with a jetpack and your trusty hand-controlled grabbers. The jetpack definitely has its limitations, but it does give you a lot more freedom to explore the game's various environments, and the grabbers which were present in the original game have received quite a few upgrades. Most notably, they now have a built-in projectile weapon. And for a sequel to a game that had no combat whatsoever, I'm quite impressed by just how good it feels. I didn't find the enemies too challenging, but they were always fun to fight. And not only is the weapon used for combat, but also solving puzzles, which is a pretty inventive feature. As for the puzzles themselves, they can get pretty difficult, and although you will find a few repeats, the non-formulaic ones do tend to be pretty unique. Operating high-tech gadgets was always entertaining, and even the frequent hacking minigames did prove to be pretty enjoyable. But there's one particular puzzle that really stuck out, and the solution is so simple yet so genius. Just a quick warning, I will be showing the solution to a pretty minor puzzle, but if you want to be super safe, then please feel free to skip ahead. In the puzzle, you need to keep this cube in one particular spot. But there's a problem. The spot it has to stay in just so happens to be floating in midair. So after multiple hours of using high-tech machinery, you'd assume you have to get it to levitate. But that's actually not the case. The solution to this puzzle is just a few books. It couldn't be more straightforward. This type of puzzle doesn't show up often, and that's why it's so genius. As much as I'd love more puzzles like this, it would definitely make them less effective. I mentioned this earlier, but I really need to talk about it more. Red Matter 2 is undoubtedly the best looking game on the Quest. From the character animations to the remarkably detailed locations, the graphical fidelity is simply unmatched. Every single object has so much detail, there's even liquid in the bottles. But not only does it push the boundaries of graphics on the Quest, but also physics. If you push it too far, it will break, but the system works well for puzzles, and it's very fun to mess around with. In terms of accessibility features, you're given a lot of options. There's teleportation, left-handed support, both types of turning, seated mode, and even more advanced options such as changing the angle of your weapon. And of course, you can turn off all the comfort options for the most immersion. As for the story, I won't get into any spoilers, because it really is something you have to experience for yourself. And as well as being masterfully written, the performances from the characters are top-notch. If you're a fan of story games, it's an easy recommendation. Red Matter 2 is better than its predecessor in every way, and with the best visuals on the Quest, it's earned its spot as one of the greatest virtual reality titles of all time.